Yeah, well, if you were to flip a coin with 60% weight on one side, then I choose the right side.
That is manipulated.
Somebody with a computer and a mouse can literally just make $1 billion right now. For the Kenya shilling, they can also do the same.
Our guest for this episode, Rufas Kamau, has a very interesting perspective of money. From your assessment, let's look from back. What do you figure is the future of money?
Well, the future of money is Bitcoin. And I'll explain it this way.
Rufas Kamau is a Bitcoin expert and he explains the concept so well on this episode.
I've seen people make the mistake of buying the Bitcoin at the market and leaving it there.
Buying at the market and leaving it there?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Rufas is a market analyst for FX Pesa. He is also a writer with Forbes. Maze Ujama ana understand Pesa inside out. So again, there is no security in I just have money sitting in the bank.
That's no. Even if it's sitting on your mattress, it's not safe for manipulating.
I'd like to hear your perspective on the concept of use debt because you're using other people's money. Do you extract value from debt?
The way it works is like this.
Okay, and do you see an end goal? Alafu into ile episode pia tunapata information ya Forex first hand from someone who has made a career out of it. Like sawa, you can't be a day trader for 50 years.
Well, you can. I know a trader who started trading before I was born.
And they still trade?
Yes.
Our conversation is happening at Wojo Africa, a premium co-working space located in Upper Hill, Nairobi. We have a link in the description below, and I'll also be telling you more about Wojo in the course of this conversation. I'm Dr. Kingori, and here's another reason to stay subscribed to our channel. Kama hauja subscribe, now is a good time to hit subscribe and turn on the notifications bell.
I was nilikusikia, you were talking in a space, and then you took a brief moment to explain money, like what money is.
Yes.
Right? So I was very curious, what was your first interaction with money as a concept?
Well, this started all the way back in 2015.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I've been a trader. I started trading around 2013.
Day trader? I'm a long-term trader.
Day trader.
I have a lot to say about day trading, but endelea.
Yes. So fast forward, you get to 2015, and there's this new asset trending on Reddit, on Twitter, Facebook, and everyone is talking about Bitcoin.
Asset?
Yeah.
You called it an asset?
Yes.
Okay.
And everyone is talking about this new promising monetary system that would change the world.
Okay.
So I didn't put much focus on it then, but I started really questioning what is money. So it has been a journey going through different texts, different books, looking at monetary systems. And in all these things that have developed over, let's say, the last 1 month in Kenya, I saw that nobody is talking about the money. So I saw an opportunity to tell people about the money.
Okay, and you're doing a very good job at that actually on the Twitter space.
So when we technically think about money, people don't put so much focus about what money is, as long as they can get it and they can use it. Well, it's something that seems easy, that you either do a business, you do a job, you get paid in your country's money, and then you do your savings, investing, the same template. Nobody really sits back and think about money as a technology.
Money as a technology?
Yes. So money is a tool. It's a technology that we use, which has been developed over time.
Okay.
I remember a reference I gave about a hunter. So back in the day, when we didn't have all this tech we have right now, let's say people would go hunting. You go and capture a very nice deer, and then coming back, your friend didn't capture anything, but their family needs to eat. So you would share your hunt with that family. There would be no transaction of cash involved, but this guy would memorize that yesterday this guy shared his hand with me. Then the following day, if let's say I am unlucky, he also shares his hand with me.
Reciprocity.
Yeah. So that memory that this person basically did this for me, and then it turns into a claim the following day, is actually some form of money. So it started from that very basic level, people needing to exchange goods and services. So then people started looking for ways of counting these claims. You can't remember all the claims from all the people you have interacted with all your life, right? But if you have something that you can actually count and hold, then that's when we had different communities using beads, other people using gold, seashells, and so on. At the basic level, money is just a social contract. But then people keep on improving on this moneyness so that it serves them better. So if you fast forward to when people are using gold, the main reason people started using gold, it was because it was the most scarce asset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were so many things. For instance, there are some guys who used some special stones. But then if I go, let's say, to my land and I find a lot of those stones, then I bring them to the market and use them to claim stuff, goods, and services from people, then I increase the supply of money and it starts losing value. Yeah.
So the idea
Yeah.
is scarcity is an asset in this case,
Yeah.
In terms of the commodity people look to store value in.
Well, think of money as a container, like this grass.
Yes.
So we use that container to store claims. So if it's gold, you never really want to do anything with that gold. If it's a 1,000 shilling note, you never want to do anything with that note.
Yes.
What you want to do is just to store value in that particular tool that you have decided to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the people who are trading, let's say, using what? Let's say seashells. So if you are trading using seashells, then someone from what? Mombasa can come with a lot of seashells with a gunia, and then they would literally buy everything from us without having worked for it.
They even buy your house.
Yeah.
With something they've collected.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't a very fair monetary system. So people have just kept on improving on this. They moved to gold. Gold was really good because it was scarce. And anyone who would find gold, they would have to dig for it. So they actually did some work to get the gold. Even today, anyone who has gold, you either bought it or you had to mine it, where you spent energy and stuff.
So how much have you suffered with this thing that you want to buy my things with?
Yes.
Okay.
So you realize that the price of gold for a long time has been pegged on the difficulty of mining gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes I hear it's deliberate scarcity.
Yes.
Because in terms of the supply of gold, it's actually more than people think.
Yeah, it's more, but in order to get it from the ground, you have to spend.
I see.
Yeah. So people who mine gold spend a lot of energy and then they sell it in the market.
Okay.
So we know that there's no one who is coming unfairly with a lot of gold in the market.
Yes.
And then the rest of the gold loses value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So fast forward, we came to notes and coins. So notes and coins were majorly a derivative of gold.
Yes.
Where you would go and let's say store your gold in a bank, and then they'll give you a note. So when I'm trading or traveling, it will not be unsafe. So I'll just follow that note. Like I can pay you using this note, and then you can go to the bank and claim the gold.
Okay.
So in every single system we have designed in human history, people have always found a way of exploiting it. So the corrupt way of human beings eventually finds its way into the money. So if it's seashells, somebody finds more. If it's gold, someone finds more. If it's notes, this was where it got really worse, because the guys who are issuing notes, they started issuing more notes than the gold they were holding. Yeah. So that way, if all the people took their notes to the bank and claimed their gold, the bank didn't have enough gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So This is what happened with US President Nixon in 1971. So around that time, I think it was France that wanted to reclaim their gold from the US, and then they had to suspend because they didn't have sufficient gold.
Okay.
Yeah. So they basically cut the relationship between the dollar and gold that was stored. So by cutting that link, people are left with a dollar, which is a note. It's just printed out of thin air. And now, with a dollar that is not backed by gold, then the currency was heavily dependent on trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So since people are used to using this note, they are like, we trust that this is a dollar and it's an original.
Yes.
Then from there, what we have experienced is people's incomes not matching up with the purchasing power.
Okay. Okay.
So you realize that now from 1971, everything has been going up at a much faster pace compared to the incomes of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a good example of something similar that happened in Kenya, back when I was a kid, a primary school teacher or a high school teacher would basically afford a basic life. They would raise 4 or 5 kids from one income. They would, let's say, buy a nice house. They would get maybe a small car.
Yes.
By being disciplined with the cash. But what's the reality today?
Wow. And I think when you give that example, it makes sense because I remember our primary school, it was normal for a teacher to buy a new car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, even if you have 2 teachers, let's say a couple, who are working either one in primary, one in secondary, even that income is not able to guarantee that this family will raise a larger number of kids. So mostly you'll find that people are only raising 1 or 2 kids because they cannot afford a big family of 5.
It's now the devaluation of currency, cash,
Yes.
is now catching up with.
Yeah. So within this period, what has changed is that the amount of cash shillings that were in circulation in the entire economy has only been increasing every year. But then, if you look at people's incomes, have not been increasing at the same rate.
Okay.
Yeah. So the dream of, let's say, owning a home just keeps moving further. The dream of getting a new car just keeps moving further away.
In fact, they say that there's a generation, I don't know whether it's this one, millennials or Gen Zs, the idea of owning a home is a pipe dream, not possible under the circumstances.
Well, it's
Wadau, a quick segue before tuendelee na his story. We recently did an episode featuring a design and build architect, Morris Kariuki. Sasa Morris Kariuki is the director wa Rufas Company Limited. Na watu walipenda sana hiyo episode because of how real Morris came through on matters of home ownership. In case you missed that episode, tunaika link hapa kwa description below. Now from the inquiries tumepata on that episode, please allow me to tell you something about Rufas Company Limited. Now, for over 12 years, Rufas Company Limited has been offering real estate services ranging from architectural designs, structural designs, construction services with successful projects ranging from apartments and flats, bungalows, mansionettes, office blocks, gated communities, and more. Now, most of the finished projects za Rufas Company Limited zinapatikana kwa website through the link tumeshare hapa kwa description ya hii video. You can also get in touch with Morris and the team at Rufas Company Limited through the contacts zenye tumeka hapa kwa screen. You wanna build apartments na zifike the utmost professional standards. Nyumba yako ya kuishi. As in basically any form of housing project. Consider yourself plugged.
In fact, they say that there's a generation, I don't know whether it's this one, millennials or Gen Zs, the idea of owning a home is a pipe dream, not possible under the circumstances.
Well, it's very tough for a lot of people to own a home right now. People are giving up on that dream. And the main reason is because from what we're experiencing in the country, the guys who are at the top, and I'm talking about the economic pyramid, so the people who have made millions, billions, they already understand a lot about money. So I'm not saying that there is a lot of Kenyans who don't understand money, but the guys who actually have the money understand because they feel the material impact when the Kenyan shilling is losing value. So what happens to these guys, the businessmen, the politicians? The moment they have a large stack of money, they will buy real estate, because traditionally real estate has been able to hold value. So what we have seen is a lot of these guys putting so much money in real estate, such that it became even I would call it a societal pressure. Ukimaliza form 4, what happens? You get a nice job, let's say after college. First things first, nunua kaploti. Yeah. So there was that craziness, madness across the country. Everyone needs to buy a piece of land.
Yes.
But the main reason this was happening is that over time, people are running away from saving in cash shilling because they have experienced it losing value over time.
Okay.
So they buy a lot of land around the country just to preserve their savings.
And not that many people, and we've had that discussion on this platform, not that many people can afford the real estate investment that has been put by people who have access to money.
Yes. So it basically keeps pushing the prices higher. When you add corruption to that, a lot of corrupt guys will just buy real estate, construct these big houses. So it ends up inflating this real estate into a big balloon.
Which the value is not actual, the value is not real.
Yeah, it's not real. One home equals one home. Homes are almost, unless you are looking at the interior, for a young person who is just looking for a 2-bedroom house in Nairobi, they are almost, how do I explain it? You can exchange to different houses. So a home is a home.
Yes.
Yeah. But if the price is going up at a crazy amount, it's not because, let's say, the homes are getting better.
Okay.
It's only because that the amount of cash available in the economy is expanding and chasing after the same homes, or homes that are not increasing at the same rate.
Then what do you say to the argument that, yes, people could buy a piece of land in 1998 for 15,000 Kenya shillings?
Yes.
15,000 shillings is money you can get on your phone, right? But if still the system the value of the shilling remained the same as of 1998, the effort will still be the same as of getting the amount of money it requires now.
Yes. So it basically means that the way we perceive value through the currency is actually wrong. We are supposed to be looking at the number of hours you have to input, let's say working for something, in order to earn or purchase something else.
Number of hours we have to put into something.
Yes.
And then what goes into the valuation of your hour.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, you're looking at the amount of hours you're putting in to get 100,000 shillings.
Yes.
How do you value your hour then?
So it's basically a price discovery feature. And by price discovery, I mean the difference between demand and supply in the market. So for people who are providing quality services, things that you absolutely need, if they are not enough, meaning that the supply is very limited, and everyone is demanding for those services, then their prices go up.
Okay.
So that's why if you look at back in the day when you were kids and people would ask you what would you like to become when you grow up, you wouldn't say a teacher because there's just too many teachers around you.
Okay.
So the people who are providing quality services and they were not enough in the market were basically...
In that case, let's not go with quality, we go with number, quantity.
There's quality and quantity.
Yes.
Yeah. So both are important.
Okay.
So you, for instance, if you're sick, you need a doctor.
Yes.
You cannot substitute that doctor. So there's quality for that. Then quantity, how many doctors are there?
Okay.
So if they are not enough and everyone is going after these doctors, then there will be a price discovery somewhere where there will be the lowest price the doctors are offering and the highest price the people are offering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Understood.
So when you talk about value, if you do a macro view, like looking at the entire economy, it's basically looking at the average income within the economy and looking at what you can purchase with that average income.
Okay.
Yeah.
average income within an economy and what you can purchase with that average income.
Yes.
So in each case, the designers of the money system, if
Yeah.
they had people in their considerations,
Yeah.
the price of a house would not be in a way
Yeah.
that the average person cannot afford.
Well, I would say that if the minimum pay within the economy cannot allow that person to own a house in their lifetime, let's work with 17,000.
Yes.
17,000 multiplied by 12, and then this person works for what? 35, 40 years. They'll never be able to afford that house. This
Not
person is still having to spend on food, transport, they still do airtime, healthcare, they have to raise kids, they might have other dependents. So it's really hard. So for that teacher, it's completely unaffordable.
And when you run to business, the cost of doing business is also unbearable.
Yes.
Access to capital,
Yeah.
and even the jobs that are available that
Yeah.
you're supposed to use to build capital
Yeah.
don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
So we are just surviving, basically.
Well, if you really look at the problem, it's because the money is broken. It's not just Kenya, it's happening across board.
Okay.
So when you have broken money, it's basically like what? You're storing water in a leaking bucket.
Okay.
So it just keeps leaking and leaking. But then it's not just leaking anywhere, it's just something that is planned. If you look at Kenya in monetary policy, we have be 0%, meaning that money retains value.
Money retains
Like-
value.
The very definition of inflation is basically an increase in prices.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the mistake, we can trace the mistake
Yeah.
to the delinking
Yeah.
of currency
Yeah.
from the gold standard.
Well, that's where I started. Like, that's where we had the biggest shift in economic policies that led to a widening of the top 1% and the rest of the economy.
So like
It creates
we go
that
back to a
big gap.
quote
Yeah.
attributed to you. The money system is designed to steal from poor people,
From all people.
from all people,
Yes.
except the ones who are benefiting from it.
Yes. So the people who are very rich have actually learned the system. They are very rich because they know how to manipulate the system.
And there's no chance for the other people.
Yeah.
What is the gateway into the system, according to you?
Well, I would say that anyone who basically understands how the money works,
Okay.
that's the first step. Then the moment they're able to crack or access a larger amount of capital,
When you can access a large amount of capital.
yes,
Okay.
now the system starts working for you.
We've said this on the show before. You
Yes.
cannot make money
Yeah.
without money,
Yes.
without a lot of money.
Yes.
So the secret, and I think you've answered very many questions in my head.
Yeah.
The secret is for you to make it,
Yeah.
you must find access to a lot of money.
Yes.
Does that mean we shouldn't blame the people who steal?
Well, the system is designed that way. Like, if you need to solve everything, you have to fix the money first.
But without fixing the money?
Then everything else you see is a feature of bad money.
A feature of bad money.
Yeah.
What's the scariest thing you've learned from
Yeah.
when you got exposed to this information about how the system works?
Well, I think the scariest thing is tech.
Okay.
I'll give you an example in construction.
Yes.
You know that in like 20, 30 years ago, construction would take a lot of work and it would take a long time to build a big house. So out of processes were manual. Even the guys who are mixing concrete, they would basically use shovels to mix and everything.
Yes.
So today, even the structures they use to support concrete are actually reusable. So there has been so much innovation in the construction industry where the costs are supposed to be going down over time.
Supposed to be going down over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the guys who are producing iron sheets, tiles, they have involved so much tech in the production to lower prices.
But the prices are not going down.
But the cost of construction is just going up. But now, that's not just the construction industry.
Yes.
It's everywhere. The guys who are making these garments, the guys who are making these furniture, if you go to the furniture shops around Nairobi,
Yes.
the guys have machines. They're no longer just using the nail. So everything is machine cut. Like there's so much tech happening within the country and world over.
Yes.
But why is it that the cost of things keep going up? So the main reason takes us back to the money. So the moment you have an inflation target of 5% each year, then you know the central bank is expanding the monetary supply. For instance, last year, the monetary supply increased by 6.1%. I know this might be difficult to understand, so let me try and make it simpler. Let's say you have a pot of boiling tea. This pot has, let's say, 10 cups of tea. It's boiling right there. So I take 1 glass of water, I add to the tea, and then I fetch 1 glass of tea from the pot. Did I create new tea?
No.
What did I do?
You reduce the quality of the tea.
Yes.
Yes.
So when we say the monetary expansion last year was 6.1, 6.2%, we are basically saying that 6% of the currency available was added into the total, and then somebody just extracted.
Somebody just extracted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, maybe my mathematics is wrong.
Yeah.
If we have an inflation target of 5%, right?
Yeah.
So if you go back 10 years ago,
Yeah.
if that was the target from 10 years ago, it means the currency has lost value 50%. That's wrong mathematics.
That's the target, but the central bank doesn't always achieve the target.
It goes beyond.
Yes. For instance, last year we averaged around 9.1% for the year.
Then Basi, the Kenyan shilling is worthless. I interacted with a concept which I found interesting, juicy. There was a question we asked on this platform again about where the government gets money to pay back interest, right?
Yeah.
And the government is not a business entity.
Yes.
But on realization, the government is actually a business entity.
Yeah.
Because I looked at the mathematics of what it costs the government to produce a note.
Yes.
But they will sell that note at the value it is written. So let's say they produce a 1,000 bob note at 1 shilling.
Yes.
They will sell it to us for the value of 1,000.
Yes.
So technically they've made 999 shillings in profit.
Well, that's the traditional system.
That's the traditional system.
Yeah.
The system we have is much worse.
Right now, it's just someone with a computer and a mouse. And they just click like that.
Yes.
Somebody with a computer and a mouse can literally just make $1 billion right now. For the Kenya shilling, they can also do the same.
Now, that's in terms of debt, right?
No. If they want to create money, they can just click a button.
And that's what they do.
Yes. They don't literally just print notes and coins. Like almost I would say over 70% of our financial system is basically digital money that we hold in banks and Pesa and other financial institutions.
Yes. But it's just a creation from nowhere.
Basically taking this 1 glass, adding it to the economy, then fetching it. Meaning that, my grandpa with his Kenya shillings under his mattress will have his Kenya shillings buying less stuff just because somebody increased the amount of Kenya shillings in supply.
It's a direct effect, direct consequence.
Well, it takes some time, but it's a direct effect.
So again, there is no security in, I just have money sitting in the bank. That's
No.
a lie.
Even if it's sitting on your mattress, it's not safe from money printing.
I'd like to hear your perspective on the concept of use debt because you're using other people's money. Do you extract value from debt?
Well, as long as the assets you are dealing with are denominated in the cash shilling, then it's the same thing.
As long as the asset you're dealing with, you're still suffering the same long term.
Yes.
Thank you for scaring us. Turudi nyuma kidogo kwa trading.
Yeah.
As a day trader.
Yeah.
Again, I've said this before.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to believe Nassim Taleb's analysis of trading.
Yeah.
Like trading, when it comes to a day trader, it means unawekelea asubuhi unauza jioni. Technically.
Yes.
More or less. Ndio?
Similar.
Yes. I'm told in the long term.
Yeah.
It does not make sense.
Well, how do I say it? In the long term, if let's say you take a trade.
Explain to us what a trade is, a day trader is, alafu sasa utuexplain hiyo.
Yes. So a day trader in its traditional concept was based on the fact that markets would open in the morning and close in the evening or in the afternoon.
Okay.
So you'd have a trading floor in each different market across the world.
Yes.
So if you're trading in the New York Stock Exchange, even if you're trading from home, you'd use a phone call. So you'd call your broker who is on the floor, ask them what's the current price of IBM, and then they'll tell you this is the price, buy me 10 shares. And then you just track the news, and if the price goes up, you can call your broker again, what's the price? Right now it's how many dollars, sell, and then they cash out.
Bana wacha.
Yeah, that's how it used to work.
But that was like when it was 5 people trading.
No, it was a lot of people. Like stock markets were a big business. Fast forward to today, markets are global, fully interconnected, and then they run for 24 hours a day. 24 hours, 5 days. If in Bitcoin is 24/7 for the entire year. So the concept of a day trader is just additional, but now it basically implies persons who will take positions and close them within a 24-hour period.
You take a position and then you close it in a 24-hour period.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't this a proper setup for booms and busts? Because you trade like kila siku, and you're bound to fall into the trap of kuna mahali you'll put all your money and lose all of it.
Well, the digitalization of markets brought out of new features for traders. So there's, for instance, risk management tools. They basically allow you to risk a specific proportion of your capital in a trade. So for instance, let's say you're a Kenyan trader and you just loaded $1,000 on your trading app. So once you load this amount, let's say you decide to take a trade, let's say trading gold. So you can determine how much to risk. You can decide I'm going to risk $10 in this trade today. And I'm going to target, let's say, making 20 or 30. Which means if the day is really bad for you, you lose $10. If it's good, you make $30.
Twende pole pole.
Yeah.
Nataka kuona, to break it down for someone. Like $1,000, tunaongea around like na exchange rate around 130K, right?
Yes.
You load 130,000
Yes.
in your trading account.
Yeah.
It's there, right?
Yeah.
So you say you want to trade gold, you take a portion of the
It takes time. Forex trading is not easy. It's something that takes a lot of work to study and learn that skill.
It's a skill.
Yes.
Okay.
But once you learn, then you can sustain yourself.
So it is better to day trade than for the person who takes his, who buys shares in Apple and then waits for it to grow for 20 years.
I don't know how to explain it. I'll give you an example with FX Pesa, the
Yes.
company I work with.
Yes.
So with FX Pesa, we serve clients who have different profiles. So you might have, let's say, a person who is, let's say in corporate world, they don't have time to day trade, but they also want to participate in the markets. So this is one person who would pack $500,000 in SP 500. It's up 13% at the end of the year, and they are good with that. We also have younger people who are more aggressive, and they don't have the patience or the targets similar to this other person. There are people who are looking to make 10%, 20% a month, and they are willing to put time and skill to learn fast before now trading with their live accounts. Yeah.
Is there someone who works trading
Yeah.
as a job?
Yes.
Like, let's say, for example, I know, Mimi, I stake X amount of money,
Yeah.
I risk this much,
Yes.
but I have the lifestyle of someone who earns 300,000 shillings a month,
Yeah.
and it's guaranteed. Ama there is a month yenye utafagiliwa yote.
Well, trading is never guaranteed. So there are times when the markets are really good. So even if you have a strategy, you just realize things are working, and there are periods where the markets might not be working very well for your strategy. So remember what I mentioned, risk management tools. So when the things are bad, the traders will be trying to protect their capital. So you might be, what do we call it, mark timing, one step forward, one step backward.
Yes.
But when things are good, then you make some good cash. And yes, there's a lot of Kenyan traders who trade full time.
Okay.
There is nothing else they do, just markets.
Just markets.
Yeah.
But I think there is a difference.
Yeah.
Kuna the so-called Forex boys, when we know Forex boys,
Yeah.
and then there are traders who understand the market. Ama they are the same, just that the ones we know,
Yeah.
the Instagram Forex traders,
Yeah.
ni show off.
Well, how do I explain it? When you are learning how to trade, you don't even tell your family. There is so much stigma. Toka kwa nyumba, tafuta kazi.
Yes.
You know, there is maybe this thing is not rewarding you, leave it.
Yes.
But a majority of the traders I know, and I've been training people for the last 6 years,
Okay.
they prefer living a very quiet life,
Okay.
like very private life.
Yes.
But then there's these other guys that we find on IG, the Forex bros, we have seen them all over. So I haven't interacted with a lot of them directly,
Yes.
but a majority of them are not profitable traders.
Okay.
Yeah.
A few, something comes out from what we have just had as a conversation.
Yes.
In terms of money,
Yeah.
there are people who want to make money through the traditional system. I'm employed.
Yes.
I do business.
Yeah.
I make a profit. I earn.
Yeah.
And then repeat.
Yes.
There's another world of trading.
Yeah.
Like playing with the markets.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, personal opinion, I
Yeah.
think is anchored on randomness. Right?
Uh,
Utani correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anchored on randomness.
Yeah.
Alafu we have another world,
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So before tuingie Bitcoin,
Yeah.
You don't quite support the concept that markets, Forex is based on randomness.
Well, there is some aspect of randomness and also some aspect of predictability. There's patterns that repeat themselves over time.
Patterns that repeat themselves.
Yeah.
With 100% certainty.
No, not 100%.
Still randomness.
Yeah, well, if we were to flip a coin with 60% weight on one side, and I choose the right side. Of course,
That is manipulated.
Yes, it wouldn't be 100% because I have an advantage over you. Like the chances of head or shoulder, head or tail wouldn't be 50%, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
That's one of the most interesting things in Nimeisikia.
So basically, trading in the financial market is basically a game of probability, where naturally, if you don't know how to trade, and I give you a Euro USD trade right now, you decide whether to buy or sell, there's a 50-50 chance. But then, if you have the skill, you basically improve your chances of winning.
And the skill is knowing how to put the weight on one side of the coin.
Yes.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
The skill is knowing how to rig the game.
Well, it's not more like rigging. It's basically understanding patterns.
Give us an example.
I don't know how to.
A pattern. Like, for example,
Yeah.
like a pattern, for example, in Kenya, you know, one of the patterns we talk about is election year.
No, let me give you a simpler one.
Yes.
Let's say you are a tomato farmer.
Yes.
And you know business has not been going well for the past couple of years. So you go to the market and you realize the price of a tomato is has gone up to 30 bob. What do you do? So these guys will go to the market and study the prices in order to time their planting season. So when prices are too high, they won't plant.
There are people who actually do that.
Yeah, but now things have changed. So if prices are at all-time high, then you plant immediately, then everyone else is also having the same information and planting at the same time. So by the time you're all harvesting, you'll be selling at 2 bob because you have excess supply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for a farmer studying those patterns, the way other participants in the market act gives them an advantage so that they are able to plant just right when they are able to sell at a better price.
So the farmer who benefits
Yeah.
is the person who invested when
Yeah.
the prices were low,
Yeah.
but they're going to sell when it's in an all-time high.
Yes.
So you must be able to read the market
Yes.
to know how to stake
Yes.
so that you reap
When prices move higher. So it's a skill that requires you to study the market, especially the psychology. You study the patterns of, let's say, price, when prices are moving high and up. And once you understand it and you are good in risk management, then you're able to benefit by executing the trades, knowing that you have an advantage.
but you could also read wrong.
Yes. And that's where the skill and practice comes along.
There's a level of skill that you can never go wrong. That's what you're saying.
No, there's a level of skill that if you're wrong, you're not hurt as bad as a person who doesn't have the skill.
You will be hurt, but not as much.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you see an end goal? Like Sawa,
Yeah.
you can't be a day trader for 50 years.
Well, you can. I know a trader who started trading before I was born.
And they still trade.
Yes.
And does this change your money perception? In the sense,
Yeah.
once you taste the money,
Yeah.
the Forex money,
Yeah.
is there an job offer
Yeah.
you can take over Forex?
Well, I don't know. That's a tricky one. Because personally, I find myself more invested in Bitcoin. I don't work for any Bitcoin company. So I don't know how to describe it. The moment you are interacting with money, a lot, prices and stuff, you start questioning the money, right?
Yes.
So when at the end of it all, let's say after every month you make a withdrawal, after every couple of months you make a withdrawal, you need to put your money somewhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you start looking around. Where can I put my money?
In the rotten system.
Let me push this to you. If you have some extra 500,000 shillings, where is the average Kenyan putting that money?
A piece of land.
Piece of land?
Yes.
What else?
Taxi business, I'm right, but that is sinking with people's money.
A startup business. What else?
Our friend Ed Thiongo would really disagree about startups.
Yeah.
He says all startups in Kenya will fail, and he explains it and he qualifies that statement.
Well, I wouldn't believe him much, but on a long enough time frame, they will.
Enough time frame.
Yeah.
For the most part, he says also it's because Kenya does not have patient capital. Patient capital in this sense.
Yeah.
For the period of experimentation, the amount of money you need to go through that phase is not available.
For me, it's more like what? You see the way your body works, that You have to feed every now and then, lunch, supper. But if you go home tonight and you don't find food, you'll still be alive tomorrow, right? Right?
Yes.
So in the business world, it's a little bit different. Having this environment where you have high interest rates, so if your business is borrowing money, then the high interest rates are really looking at you. You need to make those sales to pay your employees. If you miss payments by a month, they're on Twitter roasting you and breaking your customers' trust.
Yes.
So, like, for a business,
Yes.
it's a little bit different. It's like when the business is hungry and there's no food, it dies.
When the business is hungry and there's no food over a period of time.
It's usually a very short period.
Very short, okay.
Yeah,
It dies.
it dies.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the secret is making sure that you also have a supply of money.
yeah,
Okay. So makes sense.
yeah. So the way the financial system is built, the banks will be narrowing down on you, the customers, the suppliers, the employees. Like, you have to match up all that in order to survive.
I think we can summarize that na kusema survival.
Yeah,
Everything is survival.
yeah,
Money is survival.
yeah,
There's no end game. At you, sijui sasa I'm relaxing, I have all the money I need.
Yeah.
Inflation is coming after you.
Well, there is a different system that is actually better.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What did it take for you to trust that Bitcoin is actually legit?
It took a lot of testing. I tried a lot of other cryptocurrencies. I learned a lot about them. I tried currencies. I've been trading for what, 11 years now. And I've been observing all across board. There's no second best. There's no second best asset.
Oh, so not cryptocurrency in general?
Yeah.
Bitcoin to be specific.
Yes.
Oh, na vile mimi sasa with my introduction to Bitcoin, I'm sure you've heard of Theo Mwangi
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Yes.
Theo is the one who introduced me to Bitcoins, like
Yeah.
a breakdown, and I was like, oh, where have I been living?
Yeah.
So now he introduced me to something called stable coins.
Yes.
So wachana na stable coins.
Yeah.
Bitcoin itself.
Bitcoin itself. A
Oh, no, no, no.
stablecoin is
Stablecoin is not cryptocurrency,
it's a form of crypto.
but for exchange.
For the stablecoin is basically a derivative of the dollar or whatever currency you're using.
Ah, yes.
So it's creating a digital tool that represents the value of a fiat currency. So a fiat currency is basically a central bank currency,
Okay.
like Kenya shilling, dollar, and so on.
So tueleze cryptocurrency before tuambie why Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and utueleze history ya stablecoin.
So it all goes back to what, 2009, when it was created.
Yes.
The guy who created it wanted to have this free money, and but not by free money, I mean you're able to send it and receive it without having any interactions between. If I send you some cash on my M-Pesa, there is a third party that you have to trust. You have to trust that M-Pesa will actually deliver that money to your side. So he wanted to create this peer-to-peer currency where anyone can transact with anyone in the world.
Okay.
So the problem
Isn't he a third party in this case? Like if you have access to Bitcoin, I have access to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Whoever created it is not a third party.
it's not a third party.
He created something and put himself outside.
Yeah, released it to the world.
And you trust that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So he had to solve a challenge. The main challenge was, we call it double spending. Let's say we take a photo here.
Yes.
Then you send me that photo.
Yes.
You still have a copyright.
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So for money to work over the internet, you have to solve that. So he solved the double spending problem,
Okay.
which had been a big challenge for all developers since the internet started.
Okay. Okay.
So he created this network, I would call it a ledger, where you have a record of all transactions that happens in the network.
From inception.
Yeah, from inception, from the first to the current one happening right now. So in this ledger, the ledger records every transaction happening on the network.
Yes.
But then the ledger is replicated across different people.
Okay.
So you have a ledger, I have a ledger, another person has a ledger, and it's distributed around the world. So it has grown so much that the platform is now considered the most stable or the most secure network. So if I want to send you money, then the ledgers have to agree using code, written down rules that everyone agrees to, that the money I've moved from my account to your account is the only transaction, and nothing is left on my wallet. So it makes it so secure that people can trust that system. So the people who support the network, we call them miners. So it's a traditional thinking of mining, the way people would mine gold. But for them, they basically run the ledger, a copy of the entire network. And if they are lucky in the network, they get rewarded with some coins. So it helps them pay their power, their bills, and everything. So in this exact system, without having any point of failure, any leader, then it's basically similar to what we are seeing with Gen Zs. Like without a leader, you can't kill the network. Yeah. So it's so stable that nation states are adopting it.
There are nation states that have started adopting cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 years ago, we had a country called El Salvador pass laws that make Bitcoin their legal tender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now they have this economy where you just transact in Bitcoin. They also use the dollar,
Yes.
but Bitcoin growth is just growing organically. Then we have big corporations coming in after realizing that all the attacks they have put against Bitcoin for the last 15 years, none of them has worked or stopped the network. It has had almost 100% uptime since it was created. So how does this work for, let's say, a Kenyan? If you're a photographer, you realize that today you have to double down as an investor. So on one time, you wake up early, you do your photography and everything. As soon as you have paid your Kenya shilling, now you start worrying, how do I hold this value? Because the realization is that if you get paid let's say 5,000 today, and 1 mil is 500, that would make it 10 mils, right? If you keep that under your mattress, you put it to the bank, you put it on a Sacco money market fund, and then 10 years later, you come and get the same money. Even with the interest they are giving in the financial institutions, you'll not be able to afford the same 10 mils. So it's a leaking store of value. So Bitcoin allows you to store value over time without having to worry about leakage because the monetary policy is known. So it's one asset where a lot of people are getting into the system and less are coming out.
Okay.
So with increasing demand over time, and the coins are capped at 21 million, there will be never more than 21 million.
That is
The supply of Bitcoin.
Supply of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But there are other cryptocurrencies coming up.
Yeah. They are not part of Bitcoin.
They are not part of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So which makes Bitcoin the safest.
Yes.
So Ethereum is a coin in itself.
Yes.
Right? Which is also, from what Theo and I were discussing,
Yeah.
it's also very stable and also almost as popular as Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a network. The coins, we call them ETH. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for instance, some of these VC-funded cryptocurrencies, they are designed to work against you. So you realize that, for instance, like Ethereum, when it was created, the first person who created and his crew of friends, they first mined 60% of the supply and kept for themselves. And then they distributed the rest of the coins in the markets. So what happens when the price goes up?
I understand.
When price goes up, these guys will come in, sell a couple of $1 million, and then they wait.
So now, are you saying that the best format
Yeah.
to have cryptocurrency in trust
Yeah.
is to have Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because if people can come up with different coins,
Yeah.
it means over time, this
Yeah.
is it's a game against Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Because the system will not be central.
Yes.
But for the value of Bitcoin to make sense is
Yeah.
if the rest of the world or if the whole world now buys Bitcoin
Well,
as a form of...
the value of Bitcoin is there. It has been there in practice for a lot of people.
Okay.
So the way it works is like this. 2 years ago, Nigeria was having a lot of economic problems.
Yes.
So they implemented a law where if you had dollars in your bank, you could only withdraw about $20 per day as a maximum limit.
Okay.
So you are a trader. Let's say you import stuff from China to Nigeria and you use the dollar. What do?
You're a trader,
Yeah.
and you import things from China,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It means you're fixed.
Yeah, you are fixed.
You cannot,
Yeah.
you're locked, yes.
So transactions fees are high. There's out of financial regulations limiting you from doing business.
Yes.
So Nigerians got into the P2P market where you can trade your Nigerian Naira with a Bitcoin person.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get your Bitcoin, you can literally trade with anyone in the world instantly. You can send money, you can receive goods and everything.
And that is depending on if the person you want to buy from
Yes.
has what you need,
Yes.
and they actually accept Bitcoin.
Yes.
Okay.
So you realize that the rest of the world, especially the West, Bitcoin is highly acceptable.
And if the whole world was to adopt Bitcoin,
Yes.
capped at 21 million
Yes.
coins,
Yeah.
is it enough?
It's enough. So remember what I said, money is a container. So there was a day that all the work that was totally stored in the Bitcoin network
Yes.
was, let's say, about $1 billion. Today it's over $1 trillion. So the container is able to adjust. Okay?
Yes.
So each Bitcoin is divided into smaller units.
Yes.
We call them Satoshis. Each Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis.
Okay.
So if there is too much demand around the world and the price of a full Bitcoin has really gone up, then you don't need a full Bitcoin. Maybe you need 0.1.
Okay.
Yeah. So even smaller amounts of Bitcoin become so powerful.
Smaller amounts of Bitcoin
Yeah.
become so powerful.
Yeah.
This is different from the value of the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The Bitcoin remains the same. The
Yeah.
value goes high.
Yes.
So let's go back to the example. 15,000 shillings
Yes.
could get you a piece of land.
Yes.
So if there was the money system was stable,
Yes.
the same 15,000
Yeah.
will get you
An
a
even
piece
bigger.
of land,
Yeah.
an even bigger piece of land, or
An even bigger piece of land, yes.
an even bigger piece of land.
Yes.
Because the value of the same 15,000 is what would have grown.
Yes.
Oh, I understand.
Like if you buy Bitcoin early, and we are still very early in the adoption cycle,
Yes.
then you are buying a scarce asset because before it has realized its full value.
What's the price of a Bitcoin right now?
Last time I checked, it was $66,000.
$66,000. That's almost 10 million Kenya shillings.
Yes.
One Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So you as a person now,
Yeah.
with what you know,
Yeah.
if you had 10 million shillings in cash,
Yeah.
would you buy one Bitcoin or would you invest in a piece of land?
Instantly, I would buy one Bitcoin.
No second thoughts.
No second thoughts. I can explain why.
Please.
In all asset classes that we know around us, anytime there has been an increase in demand for that asset, the market has always found a way of expanding supply.
Okay.
For instance, if let's say you are buying a stock of a company and it just becomes a trend across the country and everyone is looking to buy the same shares,
Yes.
the company will abuse the power and issue more shares.
Yes.
So by issuing more shares, it basically dilutes the value of the shareholders.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So if there's so much demand for bonds, let's say the government is issuing a couple of bonds and everyone wants to buy,
Yes.
to just sit back and next week they will issue even more bonds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if there's there's crazy demand for housing around where, let's say
Mombasa Road. In
Mombasa
Syokimau,
Road,
for example. Yes.
investors will find a way of coming in and constructing even more houses. So the guys who already had houses that were rising in value will be diluted because
Yes.
the market brought more housing.
Yes. Yes.
So Bitcoin is the one and only asset in the world where an increase in demand doesn't increase the supply.
But
Yeah.
there is a possibility, the loophole of
Yeah.
other people coming up with different coins
Yes.
that will dilute
Yeah.
Bitcoin's
Yeah.
monopoly.
Well, in a way, I agree that people creating different coins, it will divert a lot of demand away from Bitcoin itself. Okay?
Yes.
But then, over time, these systems, they are leaking systems. As long as
The
there's
other systems.
Yeah, they are not decentralized, meaning that they have a point of weakness.
Only Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency that is 100% foolproof.
Yes. And I wouldn't say 100% foolproof,
Okay.
because sometimes we say this and someone thinks, oh, nobody can steal my Bitcoin.
Or not foolproof
Yeah.
in terms of
Like,
scamming each
never,
other.
You can never hack the network,
Yes,
but
the
you can
network
hack the client. It's like, I can't hack Apple. I can get your finger and get your device.
Yes. The system itself has full integrity.
Yes.
It's now, which also happens with any money system.
Yes.
Interperson scamming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you compare all these other cryptocurrencies,
Yes.
they have a point of failure, be it the way they are coded.
Yes.
It could be how the coins are distributed. It could be how they were originally issued. It could be the compliance system, like how you trust each other within the system. And there's nothing that beats the features in Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the information you have now, as
Yeah.
far as how money works,
Yeah.
how do you advise someone
Yeah.
about work?
Yeah.
Like someone going to school,
Yeah.
where would someone go to school for 6 years
Yeah.
to study medicine so
Yeah.
that they can, and most people who go to school to study medicine,
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
do not do it out of love for humanity. They
Yeah.
do it because it's a lucrative career, right?
Yes.
Well, to go for 6 years,
Yeah.
well, you can do 6 months,
Yeah.
study cryptocurrency, study trading,
Yeah.
and make tenfold
Yeah.
the money you would make in medicine as a career.
Well, I think with a broken money system,
Yes.
this is a feature that comes out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Where, for instance, for me, when I was finishing school,
Yes.
we did a lot of research. And I remember there used to be this rumor flying around
Yes.
that there are only 7 actuaries in the entire country.
Ati?
Yeah. They said there were
Yes.
only 7 actuaries in the entire country. So we choose this course. You know, the supply is
Yes,
not that
yes,
bad.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Right now, there's over 1,000 actuaries in the entire country. And not 1,000, over 10,000.
Yes, yes.
And what has happened with the insurance company and banking, the companies do not go beyond 100.
Yeah. And you can't name 100 companies.
Yes, insurance and banking.
Yes.
Yeah,
That need the services
yeah,
of an actuary.
yeah. So where do these guys end up? So you find that even today, the people who are graduating right now, let's say in high school, and they are looking to join universities and colleges,
Yes.
they are looking at the market, trying to understand which is the one place, the one course I do, we won't have this feature where you can throw a stone and it lands randomly on on one person in my sector.
Yes,
You know, like you don't want to be in that area where there is oversupply. Main reason is because if you get into that one niche place, you'll be earning slightly higher than the guy next to you. and you'll have better chances in life. But then, if you had one platform like Bitcoin, where you can do your savings, then you can literally do anything you love.
And people still have a chance
Yeah.
to invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But this is the early adoption stage.
Bitcoin is not an investment. By definition, it's a savings platform.
It's not an investment.
Yeah.
How if the value keeps going up?
Well, an investment is usually something where you pool money, then somebody else does something with the money to add value, and then it gives you an expectation of profit or loss.
Bitcoin is purely a store of value.
Yeah, it's a commodity.
Think about it this way.
Yeah.
If I buy, like the example we gave, if I buy one Bitcoin
Yes.
right now,
Yeah.
okay, the value goes up in the next 5 years,
Yeah.
it's worth 30 or 40 million. No asset class gives you that.
Well, let me explain it this way. If you buy a piece of land, let's say in Nanyuki,
Yes.
and then you hold on to it, then 10 years from now you sell it, that was not an investment. It is a speculative trade. You basically speculated on that piece of land.
It's not an investment.
Yeah. If you buy in some form of, I would call it third party doing something to add value.
To an asset.
You know, like the way you buy Safaricom shares, and then there's some Safaricom employees waking up on Monday morning to go and work, and their output will eventually be put to you as a shareholder.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, now that's an investment. But when you buy Bitcoin, it just stays in the network.
From your assessment, let's look from back.
Yeah.
What do you figure is the future of money?
Well, the future of money is Bitcoin. And I'll explain it this way. We have tried so many things as a human species to use as a store of value. And everything has moneyness. Even what?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Moneyness.
Yeah, like a feature of being treated like money.
Yes.
Like the way I explained, even a memory can be money. So far, there's no other asset that is able to hold value better than Bitcoin.
No other asset.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at tech and what has happened in the digital world, right now you can be able to text 1,000 people from every part of the world instantly.
Yes.
At a fraction of a shilling.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you just buy some data and then you text 100 people, let's say via WhatsApp, it's instant. Okay. So how is it we have been able to get this far with photo, video, text, but somehow money can't be moved seamlessly around the world?
Wow. And when we talk other investment vehicles,
yes.
If I'm not wrong, on your Twitter page, I've seen you talk of money markets.
Yes.
I've seen you talk of other forms of investment.
Yes.
Why would you why do you need diversification when you already found a sure bet?
Yeah.
Form of store of value.
Well, how do I explain it? In Bitcoin terms, we say we are all fiat mining.
In Bitcoin terms,
we
are fiat mining. Yes.
So everyone is looking for fiat money.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you look at different asset classes, I try to separate my investing, my trading, and of course my speculative savings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I saved something. If I'm not wrong, I saved something from your Twitter page.
Yes.
And if you allow me, quick kidogo, I can look for it we break it down for us one time.
Yeah.
So it was something along the lines of what you've just said in terms of assets, and I think you discredited.
Yeah.
Ulisema something along the lines,
hizo vitu zote watu wanafanya ni kelele. Hakuna kitu. There is nothing in sijui umeweka pesa wapi. Okay, if I can remember it. Naweza shindwa kuifuata because I saved the link. You kitu umesema kwanza, you separate your investment.
Your trading, if you are a trader, and your speculative savings.
What does that mean? That's a balanced portfolio?
So trading is a career.
Trading is a career.
So if it's either you are into trading or you're not into trading.
Hakuna chati, trading is a side hustle.
Okay. Trading is a career. You might treat it as a side hustle, but in a way it's a career.
Yes.
So if a person is fiat mining through photography, another one from medical services, another one from social media, then there's this other class of traders who have their skill, and that's where they mine their fiat.
Yes.
So I'm a trader. So that's one side. Then when all of us are done mining, where do we put our savings?
When you're done mining, where do you put your savings?
We don't consume everything, right?
I'm following, yes.
So when you're done mining and now you have some cash, where do you put it?
Okay.
Do you go and park it under the mattress? Do you put it in a bond? Do you put it in a money market fund, a fixed account, M-Pesa, M-Shwari, or whatever?
Yes.
So this is where you start questioning, if I am saving this money, is the technology that I'm putting this money into able to store this value over a long period of time without leaking?
Okay.
So that's where now Bitcoin comes in.
Okay.
So there are different avenues. People will literally consider all that. I've seen Kenyans who literally save in dollars. I've seen Kenyans who literally don't have any savings. They invest everything. There are people who will just get money, spend, then the extra money they put in their businesses or something.
Yes. Okay.
So that's where you're putting your money for use at a later date. So that's where you focus on an asset that will hold value. But then it doesn't end there. There's this other fraction of people who will say, I have a 6-month saving, or maybe savings enough to last me for a year before maybe I get another job. Then some people will have extra cash and decide, I want to invest my money. So investing is literally either starting your own business or buying a portion of another person's business. So you are either starting a business, which you'll be involved in its production, or you put that money in someone else's business. So it can be private capital, it can be startup capital, or it can be shares, and so on. So you're basically putting money to a pool, let's say like shares, and then the company uses the money to do some activity, raise their revenue, their profits, then share that with you. So investing has always been a function of using your money to get more money through investing in productive parts of the economy. So if something is not productive, then you divert your money away from it. So the most successful businesses around the world have been the most productive.
The most successful businesses around the world are the ones that have been most productive. So some people, critics of cryptocurrency, say that cryptocurrency cannot exist outside. They already exist, the broken money system, right? So whatever you do out there, bado unarudi tu hapa kwa hii system imevunjika. Right? There's no way to exist exclusively on Bitcoin.
Well, I don't know how to explain it, but there is a way. How do I explain it? Let's say you go back to 100 years ago, where people are using, let's say, gold coins to trade. So at the very beginning of the use of gold as a way to trade, of course, there was a previous currency. So people started using gold, but they would rationalize the value of this gold based on the value of a previous currency, right? But at first, there's no way of creating a psychological expectation that one meal in a hotel is equal to this coin of gold. people would reference that using the previous currency. But for gold, they knew it's good, it's interesting. We are not seeing a lot of inflation with this one, but somehow you haven't created that valuation metric.
Okay.
You know how you think psychologically that if I have 500 bob in any part of this country, I can find a 3-star place, I can get a meal.
Yes, yes.
It stays within people's brains, and that's how you see those valuations and trust in a currency.
Very well explained.
Yeah.
Very well explained.
So let's bring it to Bitcoin.
Yes.
So Bitcoin, when it was started, the adoption rate was so slow. So you couldn't even price products in Bitcoin, because today it's trading at $1, a few days later it's at $5, and so on. But you are using the fiat mindset, the dollar mindset, to view the value of Bitcoin, and then use that to compare with a product or service.
Yes.
So it's still very early in the adoption of Bitcoin to be used to price products, because it's still within a price discovery cycle.
Okay.
So when there's sufficient adoption, let's call it critical mass, where there's a lot of people who are looking for Bitcoin and there's less Bitcoin available, then it will be closer to, let's say, the effective price of Bitcoin.
The challenge now becomes
Yeah.
the people who own the money system,
Yeah.
the people who own the existing broken money system, the people who benefit from it,
Yes.
have enough power
Yeah.
to jinx the
Yeah.
adoption of Bitcoin.
Well, let's talk about BlackRock. They are currently the biggest buyers of Bitcoin this year. If you take BlackRock, JP Morgan Chase, and the top banks in the US, they have bought what? I think almost $100 billion worth of Bitcoin this year.
So they are starting to adopt it.
No, they are competing for it. They are scrambling for it.
Which would bring us again,
Yeah,
if the people who broke the money system
yeah,
have access to as much Bitcoin as possible,
yeah,
we'll go back to the same center or the same position of control
yeah.
that we are in now
Yeah.
with the broken money system.
So the advantage with Bitcoin is that it doesn't give the people with more money sovereign rights over the people with less money. They cannot make exemptions in Bitcoin.
They cannot hold, let's say, the big banks,
Yeah.
if they bought 50% of Bitcoin and then hold it.
Uh-huh.
It will, at some point, it's bound to make Bitcoin unaffordable. Yeah. I think I've answered myself.
Yeah. So when it's unaffordable, the guy holding a small number of sats will have a higher purchasing power.
Yeah, so whichever way it happens,
As long as you hold your
as
Bitcoin,
long as hata kama ni a 0.00 something,
yeah,
the value is still high.
yes,
So they will actually be
benefiting you.
yes.
So as they compete for more and more,
yes,
then they make it
the
more
people
scarce.
with less
Yeah.
will actually
have a higher value.
yes.
Yeah.
I see it. Hapo wameshikwa basi.
Yeah.
But that depends on adoption.
But now you see these American banks being so aggressive to buy Bitcoin. They want to have at least 2-3% of the network. But then the rest of the world is watching. So now it's a scramble for everyone to get their share of Bitcoin. So for anyone who is buying now,
Yes.
you know, as long as these guys compete to buy more and more Bitcoin, for you, you will focus on your farming, on your photography, on your skill to mine more fiat, buy some more Bitcoin, which you know that at a future date, it will have retained value. So you don't have to waste time doubling down as an investor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You mine fiat
Yeah,
to buy
Bitcoin.
as a stable store of value.
Yeah, it's digital property.
And your hope is to mine fiat before fiat is purely worthless.
Yes. The Kenya shilling has lost over 99% of its value to Bitcoin in 15 years.
Over 99% of its value to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So there's a certain caliber of people who also have access to Bitcoin, because
Yeah.
for a teacher who earns 17,000,
Yeah.
to have access to solid Bitcoin,
Yeah.
tafuta mahali pengine utapata pesa.
Yeah, it's a fair system for everyone that is based on a concept of proof of work.
Okay.
So it's not supposed to make everyone equal. No, it's supposed to provide you with a platform where if you hold a stake in Bitcoin, then Bitcoin will hold value for you. It's basically a bucket that doesn't leak.
Okay. So as a recommendation for anyone interested in cryptocurrency, the best bet is when you go in, buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, just buy Bitcoin. I've seen people make the mistake of buying the Bitcoin at the market and leaving it there.
Buying at the market and leaving it there?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You remember the collapse of a cryptocurrency exchange called FTT? Yeah, it was about 3 years ago.
Yes.
So it's a cryptocurrency exchange. You go buy Bitcoin and then you leave it in the exchange.
So Theo has introduced me to an app.
Yes.
Very user-friendly inaitwa Yellow Card.
Yes.
So this is an exchange.
Yes.
It's a platform.
Yes.
So if I buy Bitcoin on the platform, if I exchange money on the platform, where else do I take it?
There are wallets where you can store Bitcoin.
Okay.
It can be an app on your phone that holds custody of your coins. So you don't have to trust a third party to hold your coins. It can be a USB flash drive where you store your Bitcoin.
You can store...
It's a bearer asset. You have to hold it the same way you had to hold gold or cash.
So if someone steals that USB, they have stolen all your money?
Yes. Yes. So it's a bearer asset.
And you can't have a copy of that USB?
You can, but if the USB just will store two things. The two addresses, one to receive your Bitcoin and one to spend your Bitcoin. So if someone has access to that, then they can spend your Bitcoin.
Or the only stealing is if someone has access to
the keys.
The keys.
Yes.
So, kidogo. So if I'm on a platform with a wallet, what if the company that's providing me with the wallet goes down?
So there are open source wallets.
Open source wallets?
Yes.
That you have, that is directly on the network?
No, it's available on the internet everywhere.
Yes.
Meaning that someone created a wallet, provided that wallet online for people to audit the code and make sure there's no backdoors.
Yes.
And then people started using that wallet.
So now, we had a conversation with Jimmy Wanjigi na akasema the reason why people buy watches za 2 million shillings is because also that's a store of value. Is that like if something was to happen that you have to leave the country, you can go to another country, sell your gold watch for the 2 million shillings?
Yes. Remember when I said that everything has moneyness? That's what I meant.
So now, if you have Bitcoin and in a wallet, you can move out of, you can leave Kenya as long as you just have your passwords.
Yes.
Go to the US, go to Norway, go to the UK, go to Uganda, whichever the place. Just have access and you have your money.
In simple terms, Bitcoin makes money borderless. You can literally go anywhere with your Bitcoin. You can't move across the airport with what? With 5 million Kenya shillings in cash. You can't move with 5 million worth of dollars.
But you can load them in a Bitcoin and go wherever you want.
Yes. It was actually a lifesaver for people who had bought Bitcoin earlier in Ukraine, where when Russia invaded Ukraine, people needed to run away and go to safer spaces. So for a person who was still in fiat, they would run to their bank, and their bank, either the ATM is not working, has collapsed, or the bank has switched off. But the guy with a flash drive with Bitcoin would just move to any part of the world.
That's a very interesting concept, borderless money.
Yeah.
Wow. So with what you've learned
Yeah.
about money,
Yeah.
with the understanding of the system, from the fiat currency,
Yeah.
the broken, the Bitcoin to trading,
Yeah.
what's your, before we close,
Yeah.
what is your understanding of financial freedom?
I will just use one point that there's this thing we call human rights.
Yes.
There's different bills of rights by the UN, the Kenyan Constitution, and so on.
Yes.
So they all revolve around the same things.
Yes.
Freedom to own property, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom to transact, freedom to life, food, and everything. So out of all those rights
Yes.
that are in different economies,
Yes.
there's no freedom that you can fully enjoy and exercise without money. So if you're living in a dictatorship, if you are living in a state that, let's say, that is authoritarian or controls a lot of things around, as long as they can freeze your account, they can freeze your business,
Yes.
they can take your money, you'll never really enjoy your financial freedom. So Bitcoin is the one asset that gives you full sovereignty. I remember it happened 2 years ago in Canada. So there were these truckers who would transport goods between Canada and US border, and they implemented vaccine mandates on these guys, despite them saying, no, we don't own this. So for them to exercise their political rights, they had to strike, protest, and so on. So they used traditional means to try and raise money, GoFundMe and everything, but their president basically froze those accounts.
Yes.
So the only way they were able to express their political rights was through people financing them through Bitcoin, because that was unstoppable.
The waruke juu warudi chini, they cannot access.
Yes.
And when you have Bitcoin,
Yeah.
you will always find someone to exchange instantly.
Yes, the market is very liquid. It's global.
Yes.
Yes, it's fragmented a bit because it's still maturing.
Yes.
But every working Bitcoiner is an exchange.
So if I have 10 million,
Yeah.
I put it in Bitcoin
Yeah.
as a store of value.
Yeah.
If I need my 10 million tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Yes.
Mimi ukiniuliza,
Yeah.
that's enough going back to the drawing board for me
Yeah.
in terms of the information I've gathered as far as money is concerned.
Yes.
Asante sana Rufas
Yes.
for agreeing to come and share your knowledge with us.
Awesome.
I've personally learned a lot.
I really appreciate the chance to be here.
Thank you.
I always admire the sarcasm in your posts.
Thank you.
They're really good.
Thank you, sir.
I hope today was something that was easier to.
100% worth every second.
Yeah.
And I believe our audience agree with me on this.
Awesome.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you.